If you could talk to your younger self now, what would you tell him?
Don't listen to no one, just focus on your own path. And surround yourself with the people that actually see the path that you're on. And don't go too much into detail with what you do. Just put it out there, and the market will decide if it's going to work or not.
What do you think, what made you actually go for a big one, like Sidefill?
That brings me back to reading books. One of them was called the One Thing. And over there it's like really like set, like they say, if you focus on one thing, that one thing can actually bloom.
Today I'm joined by Maurice, the co-founder of a Swiss innovative startup which is called Sidefill. Sidefill is basically a water bottle you can fill up from the side. How they come up with the idea and how they brought it on the market, they will tell us later in the podcast. Sidefill has already been featured on Tele Basel, and they created some cooperative gifts for very big companies in Switzerland like Zurich Insurance and University of Basel and really much more. So Maurice, when you hear that list of companies, what does it make with you? What does it feel like?
I think that's proof of concept. It's proof of the product itself. That it works, people like it, people see it's new, it's practical, it makes sense, it's different by default, and it's something that they can also like use very well, especially in the beginning of the whole startup. People can actually relate to what idea we brought out there, and therefore I have a very good feeling when I make up my own mind.
Okay. So let's go back to you scratch, and let's go back to you. Where did you start? Where did you grow up? Tell us about where did you grow up, and yeah.
All right, I mainly grew up in Switzerland, but also I lived 2.5 years in Namibia, which is just on the top of South Africa, and over there I learned a lot of lessons regarding like loyalty, honesty, also how to deal with other people from different kind of countries. Was able to speak a lot of languages back then already. So therefore, I've experienced a lot of things already by a very early age. But entrepreneurship came later. But I was just like mostly in Switzerland. I was a problem child in school as well. I never fit into the system that much, and I still don't do it to this day. That's why I am the way I am.
You said you were in Namibia, and after 2.5 years you came back to Switzerland. And when did you first really realized in school, I think, that you don't want to do the 9 to 5? You need to escape it. You say it today. What was
the initial point where I wanted to leave, basically? Okay, that was from a very young age. Like I was, I think, 10 or 11, where like the teachers thought that I'm kind of like autistic and whatnot, just because it was different. I saw the things from a different kind of like angle. Also, when we used to draw things, paint things, whatever, I just did it my way and it came out perfectly. But I just started differently, so therefore I was different already in some way. But back then I didn't have the knowledge that I have now, so I thought I am literally like different in a bad way. So therefore, I wasn't able to look at it in a positive way. Neither were the teachers, obviously. And from there on, I just had to find my own way.
If you could talk to your younger self now, what would you tell him?
Don't listen to no one, just focus on your own path. And surround yourself with the people that actually see the path that you're on. And don't go too much into detail with what you do. Just put it out there, and the market will decide if it's going to work or not.
Let's go back to the foundation of Sidefill. How did you come up with the idea to make a bottle? And tell us about.
So it actually wasn't me, it was my business partner, Nick. He's the genius and the whole brain behind Sidefill. He started the company on itself. And he basically saw the problem, like when he was studying business in business school. He realized, okay, I can't refill my bottle anywhere. because the sink or the tap is way too small. And then at the same time, the other solution would have been to buy a PET bottle every day, and that's also stupid. So therefore, he like started to come up with the idea of Sidefill, and actually started to use like Kellogg's and cereal packages to like build it, and use like tape to put it together and stuff like that. Then he went into a summer school to Colombia, and over there he used a 3D printer to actually bring out the first prototype of the Sidefill, which isn't usable, but at least it's visible in a different way. We still have that in the office, and it reminds him obviously of the first few days when he started Sidefill. So that's how it came up, and then he searched for like different suppliers online. He found one. He visited that guy in Shanghai, and that was the first supplier that was able to literally like put it into action, because it's a completely new product. It's a world novelty, so therefore it's not easy for especially like Swiss or European countries to adapt to that. But in China they were able to do that, and then we started the company like that, and I joined in 2024 because we already like knew from each other. We met in boxing, and over there we already knew, okay, we need to do something together no matter what in some way, and we would be idiots if we didn't work together.
When I want to start a startup, the first thing that comes in mind is the money. You need the money to invest in. How did you done that? How did you get that money?
Well, mainly from working other jobs. I mean, I know about Nick's situation. He also used to work every Sunday at Picky Bike. For people that don't know, it's basically a company that like rents out bikes. So he used that money as well, and also from like previous jobs that we both did. And for me, I did my apprenticeship in real estate, so I kind of had money from there a little bit, and also through not just that, but also through my social media marketing agency. So therefore, we used that money mainly, and also some support from our parents, but not too much.
When I think about the suppliers, I wanted to do a clothing brand, and then I realized that I got scammed because I gave them the money to get the sample. Had you ever experienced something like that?
Not that we got scammed in that way. We got scammed by an agency before, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, with clothing brands, it's a different kind of level, because there's so many people out there that actually want to do that, because they all think, okay, I got an idea, I got a design, I got my own clothes. How cool is that? Yes, for sure. But there's so many people out there. Not everybody's gonna end up like Represent or some big brand like that. It's very tough. I mean, they've been in the business for like 15 years now, and they're still building. They still feel like they're starting. So it's a tough business, especially in clothing. But yeah, I mean, we never got scammed in that way. We just like always made sure that we actually really know the person on the other side. We know that we can expect the right thing, and then you go from there.
The first few months, how were they? Were they difficult? What challenges did you have?
To be honest, again, like that was Nick on itself. But what I can tell is that he definitely had doubts in the beginnings as well, because he was alone, mainly. Like I knew about the idea, but we didn't work together at that time. So obviously he had a few doubts, and no one else understood him the way he did, like himself. And the first few bottles came, then another bunch of bottles came as well, and the first ones, they were good, the next one wasn't good, so it was like fluctuating. The bottle quality wasn't always the same. That's also the reason why we have a new supplier now. But yeah, that's very difficult at the beginning, especially when you don't really have that money. And when you're like, he was still studying, working on Sidefill, and then every Sunday he would work for Picky Bike, so it was kind of a hassle.
Where did he study?
In in business school, not a university, but just like focused on business, so he got a business degree.
I think you experienced itself that it might failed, I think everyone who's starting something has that doubt. How you told that Nick had it. So what are you doing in these moments with that?
In those situations, I try to get some clarity. I try to like think of the outcome, because at some point, all you can do is win. Because you like also now we've come so far already that even if we would fail in some way, we would just take a lesson from it and keep going. Because Sidefill is literally our life now. That's also what we wanted. That's also what we both signed up to. So in those situations, I just try to find clarity, try to find the right path, so I can literally see the outcome, and also like, because I cannot influence the outcome, I can only influence the input. So therefore, I just go all in, and we have tough like talks sometimes. Not that we're screaming at each other, but we are really honest with each other. Like if we think the haircut wasn't that good of the other person, we tell them, like literally. And that's the only way you can actually get better.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing when you have a business partner, to be really honest with him. Yeah, that's very good. Did you ever really told Nick, okay, no, I don't want to do this anymore, like because of a decision he made or you made? Did you had like a fight? Not a fight, but you know what I mean? Like
True. No, there's been times where I was just like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. But like that's just a little sequence of like 2 minutes or something, and then I think clearly again. Like we both kind of like get wind up and overwhelmed with some things. Maybe that just happens. That's business. That's life. But seriously thinking about, I don't want to do this anymore, I never had that thought. No.
Okay. What did your family say to you when you told them that you want to really go full in Sidefill?
Not much, to be honest. I especially except for my brother. He's a young hustler too, and he was, I think, 15 or 16 back then. So he already knew what's gonna happen. So he's also a problem child, just like us. And he knew about the vision. He knew about the goal. So he supported me since day one, just like my mother as well. But there's been other parts of the family that have no idea what I do. They watch everything. They're nosy, but they're not supporting at all, or something like that. But at some point, they will realize.
Someday, yeah, 100%. So, what's the proudest win you had on Sidefill?
I would say one of them is definitely that we were able to like bring the new bottle out there, to find the new supplier, to bring it out there, to actually also go to Shenzhen to see the whole factory. But a win itself, I would say the first few deals that we made.
Okay.
That were literally through mostly companies, big firms.
Did you call them?
Yeah, Nick started it with like interviews.
Okay.
And used Sidefill then as a not like a special thing itself, but more like, okay, that's the practical solution to what you just said. So basically what happened was like, okay, so you guys are looking for this and that kind of corporate gift. So therefore, we got the perfect one. It's sustainable, it's long-lasting, it's new, has big surface on there, so you can use it to brand your own company on there.
Okay. You talked a lot about manufacturers. What would you tell the people or the listeners who are listening right now? What they need to look at when they want to produce a product?
I have to be honest, I'm not too much in the manufacturing game. I just hear stories from Nick, because he's the product developer. I'm more in sales and closing, and collabs. But what I know is basically you really need to know the other side. It's great to build up trust. So therefore, you need to visit them. You need to go there. You literally need to shake their hand, and it just helps and improves all of the processes that are going on. And you need to be very clear with what you want, and not be like, okay, this time this wasn't that good, so yeah, next time it will be good. No, it won't. It will be worse. So therefore you need to tell them, and need to tell them in a respectful way, but you still need to tell them. And I think that's where most people fail, because they're, I don't know, too nice, too afraid or something, or they think it's disrespectful to tell them, but in fact it is more respectful, because both sides are making more money then after that. So just be transparent, be honest with them, and yeah, you can be harsh with them, because they fucked up somewhere.
Yeah. So what was the most unexpected problem you had to solve on Sidefill?
That brings me back to the manufacturing again, actually. Because over there, like I said in the beginning, there were like a few like orders that came perfectly, everything fine, and then the next time was just like everything just messed up, like through the whole like shipping. They got some scratches or whatever. So basically, you were not able to use any of those bottles. We had to like throw them away in some way.
Okay.
And that was just very bad, and it's a big loss of a lot of money, and also a lot of work that you put in there. So that's also the reason why we changed the supplier. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your vision? What is your goal in the next few years with Sidefill?
To build a global brand, to revolutionize the whole water bottle market, to really change the game, because we all know the shape of a bottle. It's round, right?
Yep.
But why isn't it squared? That's kind of the question. And so next to the global brand, we really want to like make the people understand that you don't need a round water bottle. You can also use a squared one. And we really want to build a brand around it with like different kind of accessories, maybe also shirts, clothing, whatever. The main focus though is to bring out the bottle first. So we're gonna drop in a few weeks from now with the new version. We got a few versions planned as well. We're working on like different concepts and like structures, designs. We already, like I've mentioned before, different by default.
Yep.
That's our slogan now. We didn't even have a slogan before in that way. And different by default means that everybody does their own thing. They all want to express themselves in their own way. So that could be a mother raising their children. She does that in her own way. Yep. But also like an athlete, he trains for some competition. He does that in his own way. So therefore he's different by default.
Yep.
So if you use a Sidefill, you're technically different by default. And we try to build a whole vision behind it right now.
Okay. So tell me, why should I buy this bottle and not a round bottle like this? What are the benefits of this bottle?
So with that one, like I said, you're different by default, first of all. Secondly, you can fill it up from the side, since with normal bottles you don't really get underneath every tap.
Yep.
And thanks to its flat design, it fits into every bag.
Yep.
So and on top of that, it's 100% stainless steel, so it's long lasting. It doesn't start to smell like aluminum, for example. Yep. And it's just very, very practical.
So yeah, when it's available again, please tell me and contact me. I need a bottle like this. So let's go to your lessons you learned through the early days and still now. So I think something I want to hear from everyone I look up to is, what habit do you have in a day you really don't want to miss out?
That starts in the very beginning of the day. The way I wake up is also the way my day is going to be in some way. That's different for everyone else. Like for each person, that can be something completely different. For me, it's very important that I have my first like few minutes to an hour alone. So I can really like rethink everything, how I want to structure the day, how I want to actually do the things. For some people, it helps to do that in the evening before the day actually starts. For me, it's like I have my schedule throughout the whole week, every week, basically. That's also something that we started implementing with Sidefill, that we have like every Monday we have a meeting where we like plan the whole week and the whole goals, what we want to reach, and how the whole week is going to work out. So basically in the morning and then in the evening, I like to like sit in bed and recall all the beautiful and positive things that happened throughout the day. So I can just like go to bed or like go to sleep in a very positive way.
Okay. So do you read books?
Yes, I do.
So what is the book with the most information about, I don't know, lessons you can read about?
Like that had the biggest impact
Yeah.
on me? That's a good question. Because I mainly like read like books about like successful people or like biographies about them.
I saw on your Instagram story a red book, and then I wanted to read it as well, and I didn't know how it's called, so I took a screenshot of your story, put it into ChatGPT, and asked him which book it is, and it is Pitch Everything or Anything.
Oh yeah.
So then I ordered it, and I think that's a very good book.
Yeah, it's very good. I actually got it from Nick, my business partner, and it was one of them that like just like increased my knowledge about it. But a book that really changed my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad. To be honest, it was for the situation I was in. It was way too early to read it because I didn't have the money back then to really invest in something, and it's mainly about investments, right? But it was very good for the mindset shift. For like, okay, what's going on with money? What's going on in the world? When it comes to like financial stuff, and that was the time where Nick and I actually met. So I would say that was one of them that had like one of the biggest impacts.
Yeah, this was my first book as well. I wrote, and for me it was as well the mindset shift I got through this book. We talked earlier about setbacks and doubt. Let's go away with business. Let's go into like personal. How do you handle it in a personal situation?
I usually go up somewhere like here, because I have the privilege of living close to like hills. So I usually just like literally set back myself by going out of the whole like scene and everything going on, and try to like rethink from a different kind of perspective, literally, to focus on the positive things that are happening to me, to like get some clarity again. Because in those situations, it's very difficult to see things through a perspective where it's just like very, from a setback like perspective in some way. So therefore, it's important to literally like set back yourself, you at those things from far away, and rethink, give it some time, and remember who you are and why you're at the point where you're at, and then go back.
Okay.
But there's been times where I was devastated and I was like very deep down, obviously, and also when things in my family happened, for example, like 2 years ago when my dad died, I was like very deep down, obviously, and I wouldn't say I cried, but tears came out of my eyes, right? So those are tough situations everyone has to deal with at some point. And tough is also relative, like, relative for everyone. Like, people think that's crazy. They wouldn't have gotten out of that situation. Others would. So it all depends on the mindset and what you really want to achieve.
So, what's one belief you had earlier, and you really completely changed the opinion?
I would say that I always used to think that other people actually care about what I do, but they don't. That's just the reality of it. I also realized that after posting more than 100 reels every single day for the last few days, that there are people that engage with it. There are people that actually want to see it, but most of them, they don't really want that you're succeeding. They want to be proven right in the way, okay, yeah, I know, I always knew that that's not going to work out. So that's the only joy that they have, to be honest. And therefore, they're trying to pull you down. But at the same time, that's like why we restructure everything now to make the content even more engaging, to make it even more fascinating, what we do. Mm-hmm. That's also why we're literally not focusing too much on the bottle itself also, but more on the brand, to really build it up, and also our personal brand. Because I used to come across a lot like kind of like a Ghazi or a Velmar or whatever, but that's because I completely understand those guys. I know I'm not there yet, but I can completely relate to them, and I also know people that are good friends with them. So that's the only reason that makes sense to me, to actually also live up to what they live up to. Yeah. But normal people cannot relate to that. We cannot understand that, and that's just fine.
What do you do in this situation when somebody don't want to see you win?
I used to get frustrated and be hateful towards them, because it was just well, you're not like that, so kind of fuck off. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, I don't really get into those interactions anymore too much, because I just focus on my own path. I focus on what I do, because at the end of the day, it's my fault if it doesn't work out. And if it does, it's also my fault, but in a good way. Yeah. So, and at the end of the day, you always have to see what's possible to do for yourself and by yourself. And when you can do that, you automatically are destined to win in some way. And a win is also relative when you look at it. But for me, it's when you have succeeded, it's a specific task, and you actually brought it out there, and it makes sense to you, then that's already a win. And if it works out, even better.
Do you still remember the day when you posted the first video on social media? How was the feeling?
I do. So it was funny. We were in the office, in the Sidefill office, and my videographer came by, and he cut together a video, and it was just with some random quotes of a very famous author and motivational speaker, good friend of my mentor as well. But it was just so random and so unusual to see something like that on my profile. So I was I didn't catch it like that in that moment, but Nick, my business partner, already did. He was laughing at it, in a good way, in a funny way, because it was just what the fuck, what do you want to do with that? It had nothing to do with Sidefill itself, except the clips were mostly filmed in the Sidefill office or at an event related to Sidefill. So it was kind of funny in the beginning. But yeah, and the engagement wasn't that bad, because it was something new. So, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping for.
Did you get some comments on social media?
Yeah, just some friends.
Okay. Good comments or?
Yeah. There are some friends that actually really support what we do, or what I do, and especially in the beginning when all those reels were new, they actually really started to support that.
Who or what keeps you accountable?
I would say mostly my mentor and myself, and obviously Nick. We always check on each other. We text every day, call every day almost as well. With Nick now, we don't see each other every day anymore. Sometimes we do. If it's it depends on the situation we're working on at the moment. But I'm mostly doing calls right now, and I do that in my office at home. and he's mostly like in the office, in the Sidefill office, working on the product and everything that comes with it. And so I just get trained by my mentor.
Okay.
By phone call.
You talked about your mentor. Do you think it's very important to have a mentor, or when do you need a mentor? Also, at which
Stage.
stage
Yeah.
in business do you need a mentor?
I think you can always have a mentor. It all depends on the outcome. It depends on the goal you have. But if you really can find one that already has been through a lot of like business, through a lot of like maybe already sold a few companies, build up companies, works with a lot of people, is a great salesman, for example, then go for it. Like literally go for it. But like there's so many different mentors out there. I mean, myself, I blame it on myself because I take full self-accountability on everything. But I got scammed before by some called mentors, gurus, whatever. That happened to me as well. But without them, I would have never started. Without them, I would have never done a few things that I'm very proud of that I did them actually today. But the mentor that has like experience and a lot of knowledge about business, about life, is super urgent, and you can have that at any stage in life. Okay.
I saw on your social media that you went to Malaysia for your mentor. What did you do there with him?
He mainly like showed me how to put out like cold emails, few automations, and we talked a lot about like sales. We talked a lot about like Sidefill because I went there twice. The first time he showed me that, and the second time I took Nick with me as well. And as soon as we arrived in Malaysia, we started talking about like different strategies. We also found the slogan together with him, different by default, because each one of us is different by default. So therefore, like each individual out there is different by default as well. And it's a bold statement, and he makes bold statements, but all because of the very like reasonable, like out of reasonable points. And he showed us kind of the way it goes with Sidefill, the way it will go, and that was very, very good to see.
Okay. So you talked at the beginning of the podcast about your business partner. How important is it to have a business partner in a startup or in a business?
I think the idea of like the lone wolf and the guy going out by itself and hunts whatever is not that anymore. Like you can't really go out there and just be alone anymore. You need a team because you're competing with other teams. I mean, Nick started Sidefill on his own, but since we're together, we can like shift our tasks. We can like literally focus on different things. He focuses on the product. I focus on the outcome of like the deals and of like how we put it out there. We can discuss things about the vision, about new ideas, about what makes sense and what not, like what doesn't. So therefore, it's super important to have a business partner. But I know it's very hard to find one most of the times, and you don't really find one by literally searching for it. It's just with like, same with love. Like when you don't expect it, it comes, and it happens. And yeah, we were boxing in the same gym you went to.
Yep.
And over there we met, and he was boxing for like 3 or 4 months or something like that. And exactly at that time we met each other. So therefore, I also don't believe in just like coincidences. So yeah, I would say it was meant to happen, and I still do this, like say this to this day. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do Sidefill forever, or do you want to try out other businesses?
I definitely want to do a lot of other ventures and businesses. I have a few ideas in my notes. That I'm not going to share here, I'm sorry. But yeah, there are a lot of things that will come after Sidefill. But the main goal is to build up the brand first, and then I'll think of everything else.
Okay. Were there disagreements with your partner in the company Sidefill?
Yeah, 100%. And there are still many, like, to this day, but we always found common ground, and like, always see Sidefill as our baby, and literally, like, want the best for it. So therefore, we make decisions based on what makes sense for Sidefill, and not based on how we feel.
What's one thing that keeps you moving forward?
I would say to not just to prove a lot of people wrong, but mostly to prove a lot of people right. Because I would say, and I would like to believe, there are many people that support me, that support my brother, that support Sidefill, and the vision that Nick and I really have and believe in and live every day in, day out. And therefore, I really want to give something back to them. Want to, like, show them that it is possible to break out of the norm, that it is possible to do something when you're different. And because we're different, our outcome is different. So it just makes sense. It just takes another route. It's just different.
A question that would interest me is, how do you still work on your vacations? Because I see on your social media you are going on vacation very often, and I was on vacation like 3 weeks ago, and it was very difficult to still work because I wanted to visit some I don't know, everything, and I was with my family and want to, yeah. How do you do that?
I started to use a technique that I got from my mentor, and I never shared that before, but that's basically called sniper work. So what I do is, like, I focus on one specific task, and I finish that task as fast as possible in the best way possible, because nowadays you can all do, like, through AI or whatever. So therefore it's very easy actually to do something in a very fast way that actually has an impact on a few weeks, months, or even years eventually. I'll give you an example. Like, when I do my emails or stuff like that, I literally, like, go after those things directly, and everything else doesn't matter. Like, I don't listen to music, I don't go on my phone, I don't look outside the window. I literally, like, focus on that one, and because I know after I did that, I can do whatever I want. But before, there's no chance. And to get to your point more, like, while traveling, is like, I can find more inspiration when I'm somewhere else. Like, I just need to move. I've always been moving all my life, or traveling. So when I'm in Bali, Malaysia, in the States, wherever, I just find a different kind of motivation and a different kind of, like, boost to actually put things into action and work on them.
Okay. So I need to do it as well. So we have a twist that we never seen before. We have a man behind the camera who wants to ask you a few questions. So yeah.
All right, Maurice, nice to join you.
Thank you.
All right, so my question would be, there's so many people out there, like especially young people, that all think, okay, I need to start a dropshipping store. The next month it's, I need to start an SMMA. Yeah. And then you start a AI automation agency. And I think what you're doing is a bit different. I think it's also very overwhelming to get into the startup space, because most people think of it like, I'm a very small fish in a very big shark tank, and I'm gonna get eaten alive. So what was your mindset about, like, the whole kind of starting a business and getting into shiny object syndrome, but then also not being afraid to start something big and something real? So what is the difference beyond you and, like, other people that just start the dropshipping store? And what do you think, what made you actually go for a big one like Sidefill?
That brings me back to reading books. One of them was called the One Thing, and over there it's like really, like, set, like they say, if you focus on one thing, that one thing can actually bloom. But if you focus on many different things, different tasks or startups together, in the beginning, especially when you have money and when you're an investor, that's different. But then you already have the portfolio. But, like, in the beginning, you really need to focus on one thing and one thing only. And they really, like, tell you that if you focus on too many things simultaneously, you automatically get like overwhelmed by this thing, and then you forget about this thing, and then you forget about the other thing, and then that thing comes up again, and then you forget about the thing like you started with. You just lose traction, you lose the focus, and you lose a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of time, and also a lot of energy, because you think that's gonna bloom, and then it doesn't, so you just leave it aside, but it's still like there. You don't have clarity in your head, and that's very important, to literally have a one-way street, a focus, a red line that you follow every day until it works, and you can actually sell the business, or you can do it with someone else, or you can just do different kind of things with the business itself. But it's important to have like one straight line.
All right, makes a lot of sense. So you would say focus on one thing. That's your lesson.
120%. Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, understand. So there's actually life philosophy. I'm gonna counter that a little bit, because I literally like read a book 2 days before about the life philosophy that said when you're like young, you should try many things, and that's the complete opposite of what you just said. So when you tried many things, you know what you actually want to do. Then when you actually know what you want to do, you go all in on the one thing. Do you think that step before is important, or would you say you didn't did that before?
Well, I tried out many things. Like it goes from marketing to like I also started like a podcast in the very beginning, and it was in Swiss German, but I never I just wanted to bring out some motivation for people that actually feel the same way like I did back then, to start something, to go out there, to be different. But next to that, I wanted to start a clothing brand. I wanted to start like a sticker brand. I wanted to start a lot of things. But what they mean in the book, I guess, or I assume, is more like try out things in a way of like you're young. So that's the reason why you have to try out more things. You have to go out there and like find your own way in some way. But once you have something, for example, with us, with a product with Sidefill, stick to that and then make it big, and then you can find a new thing again. So there's like different levels to the game, and also different stages where you need to decide whether you're gonna stick to that or you're gonna fuck around and find out.
So how do you deal with the temptation, or don't you have it anymore?
I don't have it anymore at all, because like Sidefill is so big in our minds, and we already see the vision. So everything else that like comes in, like in our ways, just like automatically goes out of our way again. So,
okay. And the other part of the first question was like how did you deal with being a very small fish in a big tank? Like starting a startup, in most people's heads, is like, I'm literally competing with the biggest brands on the world, and how am I going to get shares of them? Like, I need to literally steal some of their money from the market.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it steal the money. I would call it more like, once again, being different. And because no one in the beginning of Apple knew that Apple's going to be Apple, like how we know it nowadays. But it's like more, they're like rebels. They just went out there and just did it themselves, their own way. And that's what we do right now. Or if you take the Stanley quencher, for example, that's also like so unpractical. It has this shape that doesn't make any sense at all, except that it fits into a cup holder. But it's just different. It's something completely new. It's something that the world has never seen before like that. And it comes out of a brand that was actually a brand that actually just like focused on sustainable, isolated water bottles. For tea also, and for like workers. So they brought it out of that into a completely new image that built up a trend also in their own different way. So yeah, therefore it's just important that we're just different, and automatically people are gonna like it or not, and we're gonna feel that, and we just can change it accordingly, or not changing, or not change it.
Very, very nice. Yeah, very dives into that vision that Steve Jobs had with just be different.
Yep.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
So my last question would be a bit broader, since I believe it's kind of interesting to understand. It would be nice if you could answer with 3 sentences.
Uh-huh.
So, what do you think about our economy in Switzerland?
It's growing still. It's a different one than we see out in the world. Because it's different, it works.
Very interesting. What's the one last word you want to give to your haters?
I love you all.
That's very nice. All right. Thanks for joining. I will leave you here and close it up.
Thank you, man.
For the last part of the podcast, I had the idea to do a quick fire run. That's basically I ask you questions, you need to answer with one word. So the first question is one word to your younger self.
Different.
Biggest risk you ever taken?
Startup.
Book, podcast, or a person you are inspires you?
Mentor.
The skill you wish you had?
Teleportation.
First thing you do in the morning?
Read.
So if someone of the listeners has an idea but don't know how to start, what would you tell them?
Take a piece of paper, take a pen, write down what you want to put into action. Give yourself a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Ask around if that's already on the market or if that's already out there. Talk to some people about it, but not in a bad way. Like, don't take any criticism in a bad way. Just like focus on the things that are actually good. And use that as a starting boost.
Mm-hmm.
And just bring it out there. Literally, bring it out there, because the market and the world is going to decide whether it's going to work or not.
So, if someone of the listeners want to follow your journey and journey of Sidefill, where they can find you?
On social media, Sidefill Bubble, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on. And for the personal, it's Mauritius. It's Mauritius, whatever. My girlfriend says Mauritius. I say it's Mauritius. That's on Instagram and LinkedIn, and also on TikTok.
To close it up, I hope you liked the episode. Thank you very much to joining our podcast.
Thank you, man.
And yeah,
All the best.